Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Nick Push. We're talking more Scream today. The Scream 6 trailer has come and gone. Came out a couple days ago, and there have been many questions, many theories that people have broken down. Today, what I want to talk about specifically, because I've already made a couple other videos on this, including a live stream on the trailer. But I want to talk specifically about a scene in the trailer that I think may have, I repeat, may have spoiled a major character's death. And I'm going to break down both sides of it. So stick around and let's break this down.
If you like horror, hit that notification bell, smash that like button, and push that subscribe button now.
What's the boogeyman?
Welcome to my nightmare. We want the man who did this.
Welcome to Nick Push's Horror Channel.
So like I said, I've already made a couple videos on the trailer, including a live stream I did with my friend Bud from the Shape of Horror podcast. And we broke down pretty much anything and everything, but I want to really focus on this one issue today. And it's a character that's death may have been spoiled. Real quick, the reason I wanted to do this is a little background. If anyone remembers the Halloween 2018 trailer, we had Vicky's death essentially spoiled in the trailer, in the marketing. And that is the scene where she opens the closet door and Michael's standing there. We didn't see the knife go in her, but essentially at that point in time, we knew she was going to die in that scene. So when she went in the bedroom in Halloween 2018 and was tucking Julian in, right, we knew that eventually she was going to die. It's very unfortunate because it didn't ruin the scene for me, but it took away any tension we had in this scene. We knew when we watched it, she wasn't getting out of that situation. Is there a similar situation in this Scream 6 trailer? Well, maybe. Maybe there is. And I'm, of course, talking about the extended scene in the trailer with Gail. So Gail answers the phone, and I got some pictures here I'm going to show in a second. But Gail answers the phone, and it's Ghostface again, right? And she has the funny line, or at least I thought it was pretty funny, that says, you're like the 10th guy that tried this. Never works out well for the dipshit in the mask. And then Ghostface responds with saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, I'm not like any of the others. I'm something different. And then we get this great scene where Gail's on the phone, and you can see her on the phone here, and in the background you can see Ghostface essentially grabbing her friend back there, who's in the same apartment. I'm assuming it's apartment, but same place that Gail is in. And then Gail turns around and nobody's there. Okay, so Ghostface is in the room. And then we have Ghostface busting through the door after Gail is shooting the door. Okay? So he's busting through the door. And then we get this scene I screenshotted here where he is grabbing Gail, knife up, about to stab her. Does this ruin her death? Is the question. Tell me down in the comments if you think this ruins her death. I have some thoughts I want to kind of work through, but I want to hear your guys' comments down in the comment. Do you think Gail's going to die in this scene? Did the trailer ruin Gail's death? We know Dewey died last movie, so we know they're not afraid to kill anyone off, right? Finally, because the core 3 had been safe for so long, and they killed Dewey. And that was great. I know people took that Dewey death hard. That's good. You're supposed to take that death hard. That is what is supposed to happen. But does that mean the same fate is awaiting Gail? I mean, looking at this situation again that she's in here at the end, Ghostface has her and has a knife right to her, about to stab her. Does that mean she's necessarily dead? Well, let's think back to earlier in the franchise. We know in the first movie, she was shot, right? I think she was shot. Yeah. She was shot, right? Because she came in. Stu says, I thought she was dead. She looked dead. She still is. Still does. Yeah, that's it. Great line. But then she has a safety on the gun, and then she gets shot, right? Still survived. Okay? So she was in a predicament there. Scream 2. I'm going to pull up this picture. I loved this scene in Scream 2. A lot of tension. It was in this soundproof room in the college. Ghostface and her kind of, hiding along the soundproof walls there. And she actually sees Dewey die. And then she kind of throws the bookshelf or whatever down to stop Ghostface from getting in. But that was a really tense scene where if we saw parts of that scene from the trailer, we might have assumed she's going down, right? She's going to die. Obviously, she doesn't have, a knife this close to her, but she was in a hell of a predicament there. Same thing with Scream 5 last year. She was shot again by Amber. I believe it was Amber that shot her. And I think it was her that was shot. Yeah. But she's in all these tough situations. So that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to die. However, I keep coming back to that line that Ghostface said, that I'm something different. This can be interpreted many different ways. I've heard all sorts of theories. This means, Ghostface is a former victim. This means Ghostface is, I've even heard supernatural. I don't think that. But I'm something different. What I take that and I guess the way I interpret that is this is not going to be a Ghostface like the others. This is not going to be the same Ghostface that is tripping over couches and falling over furniture and being clumsy. This is going to be a badass Ghostface. A normal Ghostface in this situation, I would assume Gale would take the lamp next to her, smash him over the head, he'd fall down, and then she'd run away. That's a typical Scream formula. Hate to use the term Scooby-Doo, but it's a little Scooby-Doo-ish, right? This, if we're taking that quote, I'm something different, if we're taking that at face value, this isn't a Ghostface that's going to fall for shit like that. And from what we saw in the trailer, different scenes in the trailer, and granted, it's just a trailer. It can be cut anyway, just like this scene can be cut anyway. But if this is a different type of Ghostface, based on what we saw in the trailer, he's not going to fall for that shit. I think Gale might die in this movie, and I think it might happen in this scene. You can ask yourself all sorts of things. Why would they ruin that in the marketing? Why? I don't know if they would necessarily ruin Gale's death in the marketing. Ruining Vicky's death in Halloween 2018 and ruining Gale's death in Scream 6 are two very different things, right? Gale's a legacy character. Vicky was someone we hadn't met yet, right? But if they want to show us that this is a different Ghostface, maybe they kill Gale off here. And maybe they're showing it to us to have us think, they won't show Gale's death in the trailer. This is Scream after all. I think they're fucking with fans in very different ways and thinking that fans are going to be coming up with all these theories on why something might or might not happen. And I think they're playing to that. I don't think they're going to expect people to put together that, they ruined Gale's death in the theater. And quite frankly, as much as Gale does matter, and she does, look, it's about the new cast now. We don't have Sidney. Courtney Cox may want to move on. It's probably time to stop focusing on Gale Weathers. Maybe unless we get Sidney back next movie, I don't know where else they go, but I think it's time. We don't need to see any more Gale Weathers at this point. Let her go out in a blaze of glory if she goes out, just like Dewey did, because Dewey had a pretty good death. Like I said, if it hurt you, good. It was supposed to hurt you. That means the character mattered to you. Same thing with Gale. I hope they make her very likable in this movie. And honestly, if they make her super likable at the beginning of this movie, and when we first introduce her, if they make her super likable, that's kind of going to tell me that she's dead. It just will. Because at some point for these franchises, it's time to move on from certain characters, right? So, I think Gale's gone. I think it's going to happen in this scene. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right, because it's a trailer, and as I said, there's all type of misdirection that can happen. Ghostface has been in these situations before with Gale, where he's had her dead to rights. Not even in the times I mentioned, even in Scream 4, in that barn or whatever with the hay. He's standing behind her. Scream 3 she was in predicaments as well. But I think this time, it's time to say goodbye to Gale Weathers. And that is perfectly fine as long as they respect the character, make her go in a badass way, blaze of glory, whatever you want to call it. But I think Gale's toast in this movie. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Gale's going to die? And do you think they ruined it in the trailer? Let me know down in the comments. I will see you guys next time.